Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is AudreySA.2310733014 and my register number is 2310733014. And then in today's topic, it's about language maintenance and preservations. So we are more focused on how the language are being maintained and preserved, or like how the language are given to another generations. So first we start to the language maintenance. So language maintenance happens when a community continue to use their native language in daily life long period of times, and on other hand, language shift occurs when a community gradually stop using their original language or their native language and start to use another language frequently. Over times, this shift can lead to the language which mean that language that originally no longer speak by the native language. And then according to the file that I read, that this process of gradually, for example, in many migrant life, that the first generations may use their native language, and then the second much more bilingual, like they're using two language, their native language and then the shifting language. And then the last generations often speak a dominant language or like a new language from them, and um, this show that language or shift does not happen suddenly, like it happens directly, but it's having a step to do it. And then moving into the factor of using language shift. So there's several important factors that influence why people use shifting language to another language. It's because one important thing is about the economic things. So people often improve their another language or dominant language in their in example it's migrant, and then they are learning a dominant language in their new country, such as English, in order to get their better jobs on or another improve their social status. And then another important things was the political influence. So government may promote their language as an official language, which make the more powerful and widely used in their educations and communications and public life. So they have to use the official language in that country because they're a migrant. And then there's also a social pressure. People may feel that they need to shift from their native language or original language to a majority group. It's because their language are less prestige than if they are using an English. It's more like educate, and then like people are more respectful if we are using the official language in that country. So overall language shift can happen because the dominant language is associated with power, success on or the opportunity to live. Yeah. And then we go to the next. It's about the factor of supporting why the factor supporting the language maintenance. So even though that shift is more common, we see that here that some community are able to maintain their language. So one important factor is about the cultural identity. If people proud of their using their language and see it like it's an important part of who they are more likely to keep using it. So people are more proud of using their native language if they are really into it, their culture things. And then the next is about the community support. So if people from the linguistic background live closely each other and interact frequently, they have more opportunity to use their language in their daily life. So they use the language that multiple dominant is also very important if the language is used not only at home but also in school, religious activity, or like if we are talking in outside of our family or media or workplace. Or it's like the higher change to survive if we are using a dominant language. So another thing was the institutional support play a key role. For example, in school, it teach of language, or it used in the media, and governments can help to maintain the language. So we see here that if language is not frequently used, they are lost their ability to use fluently. This is called a language loss. So according to the file that I read, so this can improve that this can affect the vocabulary, grammar, and all over their fluency. For example, speaker may forget certain words and replace them with words and from another language. An example, I took an example of myself that my mom was talking in Minang, and then I'm not talking in Minang because I grew up in Jakarta, and my mom never taught me how to use Minang in our homes. So I usually use Indonesia language rather than Minang, and then I shifting into Minang. I take a college in Minang, and then all of these people are using Minang language, but because I'm in a college, I have like a mixing friend. I have not having not many people that we have in Minang. If I have Minang people and then they know me, I'm in Jakarta people, they will not talking Minang to me because they know that I'm not from that, and I'm not learning Minang. So they are more my friends are more understand if there's no having a racist in these things in Minang, because if people I know I have one problems if I want to be met in here, because if I met in here using Indo language, people will not respect me, because my friend told me that if I use Indo language, they will not understand, and the interrogative tone or like the interrogative tension will not intuit to that person's. If I use Minang language, if I was mad with someone, it more like tension, it more like people will more respect to me because I'm using Minang language, because I'm in their I'm in their file, I'm in their places, so I have to use that. And then I see something that sometimes the native language in some culture, in this is in the culture things, not in country things. In the culture, people will more respect if we are using their language rather than we are using another language. It's language safe actually. I really want to learn English. I really want to learn Minang language, because if I'm not gonna use it, I'm in the third generations and I'm not speaking Minang. Maybe it can be a language loss, but if I thought to my kids later how to use it Minang language, I think it can save the Minang language in my family. I don't know. I think that's it for my reading report for this topic. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.